Okay, right at the beginning of the second verse, before the vocal comes in, I can hear kind of 3 guitars going on. There's 2 harmony guitars and just a little groovy, funky little kind of guitar cooking underneath. We're doing unison bends, this harmony unison bends for the beginning of this section. So I'm going to take you through the lower harmony first. A unison bend is where you bend up, you're holding 2 notes, but you're bending 1 note up to the other. So I'm bending to reach that note. It's very Hendrix, it's called a unison bend. The phrase, the lower harmony for the beginning of that second verse goes like this. So I'm bending, I'm holding that E note on the B5, and I'm bending up on the G string from the 7 to the 9 to get that note. Striking both strings. Same thing, go down 2 frets to the D note, and bend up from the 5 to the 7 on the G. Then we go to an F note. With your first finger, hold the F note on the 6th fret of the B, and bend up from the 8 to the 10, and then up to this, which is an A note, resolving on the A note. We're bending up from the 12 on the G to the 14 on the G. So if you put it together, you get. Okay, here's the harmony that goes on top. It's on the B and the E strings. The first one is on the. You're holding your first finger on the 8th fret, and you're bending from the 11 to the 13 on the B string. Bend the B string up. It's all on the B and the E string. Go down 1 fret. So you're bending up from the 10 to the 12 now, and whilst holding this 7th fret on the E. Leap up to the 10th fret, then up to the 12. Do it again. And at that point, instead of going to the 12, we're landing on this kind of resolve note, which is bending up to an A. And your first finger is on the 17th fret. And you're kind of bending up from the 20th to the 22nd, if you can imagine that. So I'll put that together, slightly slower. So that, with the lower harmony, will sound really cool. Just cooking underneath those 2 guitars, he's doing a very similar kind of little vibey thing that he was doing with the wah-wah, that kind of. But at this time, he's not kind of using the wah-wah, it's just grooving away underneath. Okay, when that vocal comes in on the second verse, instead of concentrating on the chords, we've got a little kind of unison bend thing again. I kind of like this. It's kind of cheeky and percussive. Kind of does this sort of thing. So it's exactly the kind of thing, same as we did earlier. We're with the first finger, if you hold that root note on the A, which is the B10, and bend on the G string, your 12 up to the 14, for that unison bend. Take that down 2 frets, and then leap up to the B and the E string, and we're bending from the 13 to the 15 on the B, but whilst holding with our first finger, the 10 on the E. Back to the first one. Then we're back into our wah-wah thing again, same little motif as we did in the first verse, and then we end on a D minor chord, building up for 2 bars just before we hit the chorus. So it goes something like this. Then we've got the same chorus chords again, full on. It goes like this. And now we're into the midsection. Kind of a smaller chords we're using now, but it goes like this. You see, we've kind of modulated up to B minor. But again, John Frusciante's playing very cool, just right up my street. I kind of like that vibe and the little chords he's using. So basically, top 4 strings is a B minor chord. Third finger on the 9th fret, and your first finger barring the top 3 strings on that 7th fret. And again, we're bounce off that root note, which I'm playing there. You might even want to put the thumb over just to get that bottom root note. Kind of, it's not on the track, it's smaller, but I kind of like that. If you want to do it. Then this is kind of a straight F major chord, G major chord. With my little finger, I'm on the root note, which is on the 10th fret on the A. My third finger is on the 9th fret on the D. My first finger is on the 7th fret on the G. My second finger is on the root note again on the 8th fret on the B, and my first finger is holding down the top third, which is the E7. So you get that kind of. This moves down to a very cool little shape, which I use quite a lot. Kind of like a D with a third in the bass. There's the triad D, and there's the third. So with your third finger, you're on the A9. And barring those, the D, the G, and the B string with your first finger on the 7th fret. So if you put those 3 chords together, and then they've got just a little flick, which is almost like part of an A major chord. I'm holding this E note, which is on the A7, and on the D7, and then you've got the third of the chord, with the first finger on the G6. So you've got to kind of slip it in there, kind of. So that I'm building up, you can hear yourself, it builds up, stays on the B minor. And then we've got that little turnaround to bring us back into the third verse. I'm sliding up for that little turnaround. I'm sliding up to this B note, which is on the 7th fret on the E, to the 5 on the A, to the 7 on the A, then pull off to the 5, down to the 7 again on the E, and land on which is the A on the 5. So I play that last chord sequence and the little turnaround just slightly slower. So the third verse starts again with a little unison bend thing, which we haven't seen before. It's like if you can imagine the lower harmony that we did when we did the unison bend harmony. It's in this position. It starts off like this. So we've got this unison bend. We're at the 5th fret, all on the G and the B string. First finger, hold that 5. It's just, as we did earlier, hold the 5 on the B and bend the G up from the 7 to the 9. Move that down 2 frets. Then we go to this position. Same kind of thing, but we're on the 6th fret. And then down to the 5th again. Then we get our little wah-wah groove thing. Then we build up for 2 bars on the D minor. Then we move to this chord, which is really nice. This is kind of a, if you want to get technical, it's kind of like a D flat 9 chord. Sorry, E flat 9 chord in the E position. This would be like a straight E9. There's the 9, move it down, we've got a flat 9. And I'm ringing all 6 strings because it just sounds really cool. So that looks like a bit of a jumble, but I'll just go through the fingers for you. My 3rd finger, which is the lowest one we're holding, is on the root note on the A7. My 1st finger is on the D6. My little finger is on the G7. And my 2nd finger, which is the flat 9, is on the 6th fret on the B string. And I'm also playing the bottom E and the top E. So you're building up on the D minor and leaping straight to that kind of E9, E flat 9 chord. Then we're into another chorus.